Hey, so man, that see, ah, man, I'm so fucking happy I watched this episode. Um, yeah, so this is gonna be the obviously review for episode 129, but man, I gotta say, where do I even start, man? I'm so happy. This was a great episode, man. That's all I can say, dude. Like, I don't even know where to begin, dude. I don't even know where to begin. Um, like I was like in a pretty bad mood before I watched the episode, right? And then I watched the episode and I was so happy. I was so happy by the time the episode finished, right? And granted, it wasn't perfect, right? And I've said that about other. I said the episode is not. I've said that phrase about other episodes I've reviewed, right? But when I say here, the feeling is different because when I say here, I'm not. It's not. I don't. When I say it's not perfect, I never felt the need, right? I never felt the need to. How do I articulate this correctly? In other episodes of Super that I thought were decent, good, like whatever, right? I always felt the need to bring up some points, even if they weren't big, because they were so jarring to me, right? But here, for the most part, that really didn't happen. Maybe once or twice, but even jarring, that's a really strong word. Too strong word. It's more like a slight like annoyance. Not even an annoyance, you know. It's just like a little like it's like you're walking like down an empty hallway, right? Or some shit. And then there's like enough space between you and between you and your shoulders and everything. And then your arm like lightly grazes like some object and you feel it. And then you look and then it's all gone. You're just like, what is that? And then you just keep on going because you're just walking in blissful peace. This is what this was like. Maybe not walking, maybe like running or like whatever. Point is, I'm so happy. I really enjoyed this episode, right? I really enjoyed this episode. And of course I want to talk about like the quote unquote the bad things first because I think like I should do that and then get to the good stuff. But you know what? I'll talk about yeah. So I'll do that. Okay. No, actually, no. We'll do it the regular way. We'll go through episode, and then I'll expand on my thoughts like towards the end, right? Okay, so yeah, let's start, right? So the beginning was pretty good, honestly. Although they're flying, and one of the clips in the scene is taken from the opening, and before when like Ultra Instinct Goku did like his final. So when Ultra Instinct Goku, like when he first transformed, right, in that quote unquote that horrible TV special. I feel bad even saying like horrible TV special just because like this episode was so good, right? Everyone knows my feelings like on the TV special and Super in general, right? But like I'm trying so hard to be like positive here because I really enjoyed the episode. Anyway. So the beginning scene is like when they start to fight and all that. That's great in my opinion. There's a couple problems because you know when they're flying and well, I mean I mean we're at least me personally, I'm kind of like numb to the fact that you know they're breaking the rules already, right? And one of the clips in the scene is taken from the opening, and honestly, I don't even really know if I consider that like a flaw. I mean, like, like reused animation, whatever. Like, unless it's like, in my opinion, jarring, and even then, like, what makes it jarring, it's like circumstantial for me, right? Even then, like, I wouldn't even necessarily consider that like a flaw. But anyway, the point is like, one of the clips in the scene was like taken from the opening, and it's like one of the scenes when like Goku was punching Jiren, right? It was what I was saying like about the TV special was that particular clip, like right before he's about to punch him, was taken from that quote unquote TV special, and it was like right before when Ultra Instinct Goku did his final punch on Jiren the first time, right? The first time he transformed. But the part that I really liked though, the part where he blew up like the horizon, not the horizon, the landscape, the foreground. Yeah, no, the background. Sorry, he blew up like the background, right? After Goku did like this backhand attack, that was so sick. It was like this fucking like thunder fist, like hand of God, like sort of like fucking attack. He did this backhand, and there's like this like sort of like diagonal like key laser sort of thing, and then all the rocks just like blow up. That shit was so tight, right? The animation also in some parts was a little stiff. Like there's this one part where it's kind of like Goku and Jiren were like facing one another, and then they were going like this, like think the knee of justice in Melee, when Captain Falcon does the knee of justice, like he does this pose. And so Goku and Jiren, or at least Jiren, I remember, was like doing that pose, and then all the they were doing like that repeated like flying fist sort of thing that they've been doing. And then the reason I say it was stiff is because then it went from that cut, and then the next cut immediately was like Jiren like sort of like leaning forward like at like a 20-30 degree angle and like pushing Goku back, and the animation there was a little stiff, right? Then there were also some generic lines from the audience like Goku's movements are sharper, and like, oh, Goku's so amazing, and all this stuff. And honestly, like I've complained about that, but this episode, like everything else was so good that that didn't even like really affect me or my enjoyment of watching the episode, right? But that being said, I do want to talk about like some of the problems that still persist, right? And I've said it before, but Goku thinking being the reason his attacks don't work is still really dumb. It's still so stupid, considering Goku is already shown to be able to act on instinct anyway, like in Dragon Ball and Z. And again, the idea that thinking reduces the strength behind any sort of attack is really dumb, right? Even if it, I've already said about how dumb like what Ultra Instinct's trait is, right? It being about instinct, Ultra Instinct, like not thinking, and that being the basis for someone being able to transform and all that, and Beerus and Whis not transforming. I've already talked about that, right? But landing a decisive blow because he thinks is supposed to be a reason like he's struggling in the fight with Jiren. Like I'm pretty sure I've already brought this up, but that's just like dumb to me. And this is already proven wrong anyway, right? Because in the previous episode, he punched Jiren in the gut in the last episode, right? Like at the end of the last episode, right? So that happened, and I mean, you can make the argument he wasn't thinking, sure, but it's just like, I think to me he was thinking because he was looking at him and he was just like, boom, like he moved his fist and was like, ah, and like Jiren was like in such pain and all this stuff, right? But yeah, so that was one thing that I wanted to complain about. I just thought that was dumb, but everything else for the most part, right? The Kamehameha was sick. The Kamehameha was sick. Like the one that Jiren like eventually like blocks, deflects, whatever, or counterattacks, whatever word you want to use, right? But Toppa said something that's weird, right? He said that Jiren observed the fight with Kefla. But how, right? This motherfucker had his eyes closed and meditating. I mean, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But I'm pretty sure like Jiren never like quote unquote woke up or like opened his eyes and watched the fight with Goku and Kefla, right? At least I don't remember that. All I remember was him like just like sitting there and meditating. That's what I remember. After he beat Hit, that's all he did, right? So if he did observe the fight with Kefla or Kefla, Kefla, I'm gonna say Kefla because that's what the characters say. But just let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that. Vegeta's speech wasn't good per se. It wasn't even a part of the episode that I thought I would need to talk about, but it wasn't bad either. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because I saw people on Twitter that I followed, they were bringing it up like, oh, it was like such a nice moment and stuff. And it was like, I don't really know if I agree with that. To me, it wasn't really about Saiyan, and we already know like Vegeta's attachment to Saiyan pride is really overblown in Super in general, right? Like it shouldn't be something that he's like overly obsessed with after the Buu arc, right? But I didn't really see it like that. I just saw it as him like stating the fact. Saiyans have been breaking their limits within the 48 minutes that the Tournament of Power has been going on. Whether it's bullshit or not, right? Whether it's bullshit like with Kefla being as strong as Super Saiyan Blue Goku, or Kaba, in sensible terms, in my opinion, getting Super Saiyan 2. Even though it's kind of hard to believe that Mona is that strong. Whether what I believe or what anybody else believes, whether it's bullshit or not, the fact is Saiyans have been breaking their limits in 48 minutes. So I didn't really see it as like a Saiyan pride thing. I just saw it as him like stating the fact and just trying to tell Vermat to shut the fuck up, bitch, pretty much. But the thing I didn't like about it, right, was that awkward zoom in on his face, right, when he was speaking to Vermat. Like he stops speaking, and then the episode like it does like this zoom in on his eyes. He's like. Like he looks over at Vermat and there's just like this dramatic like sound effect and all that. I didn't like that. I thought that was just really like awkward and jarring for me personally. Well, not really jarring, just awkward. But man, I gotta say this fight, bro. Oh man, and this all, everything that I've stated happens before the mid eye catch, right? What's it called? The eye, yeah, isn't that what it's called? Mid eye catch or whatever, where it shows what the middle break of the episode. I can't even really think straight right now because I'm so happy with the episode, but the animation after that was beautiful. Those explosions after the mid eye catch, when like Goku and Jiren were like fighting one another, and you saw like those explosions like going across the stage, that was beautiful. Those explosions reminded me of some of the Sakuga I've seen in Gurren Lagann, like 3-4 years ago, maybe even 2 years ago. Right? I was really, I knew like other animators' name nowadays because I'm not so much into anime and manga. Like I don't really, I mean I remember some if it's a Dragon Ball or if it's a Yu Yu Hakusho sort of person, right? But back then I used to be a lot more into animation. So and I remember like what's his Yutaka Nakamura and you know like all Hiroyuki Imaishi who did Gurren Lagann. I remember like some of these names, right? And that shit really reminded me of fucking Gurren Lagann. It was so beautiful to just look at those explosions. It really reminded me of Gurren Lagann. Man, and when I say Gurren Lagann, I think it was like the final explosion. I'm pretty sure is what at least if I'm remembering correctly, is what I mean to reference. So, but yeah, that animation and this was awesome to look at. Tien noting Goku's war cry, that was kind of like a, I'm sorry, that was a bad line of dialogue. Like, what the fuck? Like, Tien was saying, like, Goku, like, screaming. He was like, that war cry, that means Goku's at his limit or something. Yeah, I don't remember the exact line of dialogue, right? But Tien noting Goku's war cry was terrible. Like, it was like, what the fuck? A fucking scream is now important enough to be written as a line of dialogue? Like, what? Goku's war cry? Like, no one ever said that, like, back during, like, Dragon Ball Z. Like, what the fuck? And these motherfuckers were already blowing up, like, planets and shit, so what the hell? That's weird shit. Anyway, to note that and it's different from like Boo's screaming, right? Because Boo's screaming was just the fact that like it was annoying, that it was like loud as fuck, and like he was like a child person, childlike, innocent, malevolent, evil entity, right? Here with Goku, it's just like him like just doing like a generic, even though it's generic, it's a pretty cool sounding scream in my opinion. So, but just to note that, like, it's not like it's anything, like, special in of itself, you know? It's not like Gotenks and Boo screaming their ways out of the fucking room of spirit and time / hyperbolic time chamber, you know? So, anyway, the point is, like, that was just, like, really weird to just for Tien to go, like, oh, Goku's war cry. I don't know what that was about. And then, there's, like, this whole situation where, like, Goku's, like, on the bottom of the stage, and he has no, like, footing, or he has footing underneath him, but Jiren is attacking him with such like overwhelming force and ferocity that the impact of those blows is gonna like break away the ground and he's gonna fall out of bounds and shit, right? But then Vegeta it's not Vegeta, it's Beerus that says, "Shut up and watch Goku because he's gonna do something great," right? And during that, Tien and Roshi nod at each other and then continue to watch, and that was kind of weird to me. This was like, what the fuck? That was weird to witness. That like, let's shut up and watch and watch Goku like do his thing. Like that, I don't know, that was really strange to me. But after that, I have nothing but fucking positive things to say in everything. Dude, Ultimate Battle was played, right? And you'd think by now I'd be sick of it, and I am sick of it. But here, I was not sick of it. As soon as that happened, Ultimate Battle started playing, and I was just like, oh shit, like, it's actually, for once, appropriately used. I mean, and, well, maybe not even for once, maybe for twice or for thrice or whatever. I'm going to say twice. I think ever since the special, I can't remember a time where I actually thought Ultimate Battle was appropriately used, right? So I'm going to say for twice it was used, right? And that started playing, and then he starts to like go like deeper, and then there's like this narration by Whis and all this, and the animation was sick, and that was taken from the opening too, but I don't care, it was still sick as fuck to watch. And the galaxy being formed when Goku was about to go Ultra Instinct, that was so sick. I mean, who knows, it may or may not be an actual galaxy, but I'm just gonna assume like it was like his ki, like his aura just like forming that, or you know, it wasn't actually a galaxy. I was just assuming it was like a ki aura that looks like a galaxy. But the point is, that was so sick, and everything was great. The animation, the music, the pacing of the episode, just everything. I loved that shit. Like, I could feel the rush inside me, like, when I was watching that, right? And then Goku catching, oh my goodness. Dude, that was so tight. That was so fucking cool, so fucking sick. Like, I think even, like, I may have, like, even, like, actually, I'm not saying this. I don't know if I was, like, trying to beat off later tonight or something, but I may have actually, like, come a little in my pants, right? Because, like, all that stuff was happening, and then there's this scene where, like, Jiren is, like, he goes, like, into his red aura, and he smiles, and he's like, I must respect that, which I liked, right? And then he forms, like, this red ki ball or something with this red ki aura, and then he fires that at Goku, right? And he's like, this is the end, and all this stuff, right? And then Vermon's like, crush him with absolute, like, super powerful, like, power or something like that, right? And all you then see is, like, the Goku, like, like, everything glows, and then everything dissipates like it's nothing. And then the platform where Jiren and Goku are, like, it starts shining, and then you see Goku, like, fucking, like, going, like, inverted color, like, black, white, shining. It's so fucking, that was so cool. He caught Jiren's, like, not his, I don't think it's his strongest attack, but pretty much, like, a super strong attack, right? He caught it like this. He caught it like this, just like it was, like, a fucking, like, sports ball or something, like a fucking tennis ball or basketball or volleyball, whatever the fuck you want to call it. He caught it, and then it dissipated. That was so fucking goat, yo. That was so goat. That was so cool. That was so sick. I was like, oh, that is so bad motherfucking ass. That is so baller. Literally, because he was holding it like a sports ball. And then, he then starts to do something, like, I don't really like Injustice 2, right? I call it Injust Ass 2, right? But I think there's some, like, good things to that game, right? I mean, yeah, I like playing as all the different heroes, and some of the armor looks fucking sick, and the fact that you can play as, like, Sub-Zero and Raiden, and who else? Like, I think, like, Predator, I think, also, and fucking, the Ninja Turtles and Hellboy and all these different people in that game, I think it's fucking sick. But one of the things I always liked about that game, right, was Flash. He had, I don't know if it was like an EX version of his special, but he had this one, like, move. I'm pretty sure it was a special. I think it was like quarter circle forward, like square or X. I don't know what's the terminology they use in Just As, but it was quarter circle forward, I think, like square or X if you're on the 360, right? Or Xbox One, I should say. Yeah, not the 360, Xbox One. And it was this move where Flash, right? He runs up to, like, the opponent, right? Time slows down, right? And then he punches them, right? And I'm pretty sure you don't see the punches, right? And so time is slowed down, right? And then so he punches them, and then time goes back to, like normal flow of time, like what we're all experiencing right now. And as he does that, Flash turns around and crosses his arms and is looking, like, away from his opponent, like, yeah, I already won. Like, he's doing this. And the opponent is still getting fucking hit, like, punched all over, like, like this and shit, right? And I always thought that, like, that was one of the coolest things in Just As 2. But Goku did the same shit in this fucking episode, and it was so tight. It was so sick, yo. This dude, like, literally was looking past Jiren, and he was getting hit like what Flash did in Injustice 2, and it was so tight. That was so sick. That was so sick. That was so sick. And oh my goodness. And yeah, and the fighting anyway, the point is, like, that shit was so tight. And so Goku then starts to, like, beat on Jiren, and pretty much the episode ends then with us seeing him with silver hair. And Beerus's and Vegeta's reaction and Whis' reactions they were sick, man. Like, it was so appropriate for their characters, I felt. Yeah, I was really happy when I saw. I was, yeah, and that's pretty much the end of the episode, right? Man, I was so happy, dude. Like, I was genuinely happy. And this is what I wanted from Super. And it really sucks that Super hasn't given me this till now. I mean, right now I have so many thoughts going in my head. Like, let me chill for a second so I can like articulate properly, right? So if you've been following my channel for a while, or even if you just heard like even one video from me, maybe not one video, maybe like a couple of videos from me, you guys already know what I feel about Super. I think it for the most part it fucking sucks, right? For the most part, I think it fucking sucks. I think it's a complete like disgrace of a Dragon Ball product, right? But this episode right here, I was so happy it did well, because it's like I've been like finding my way through like the swamp of like fucking like garbage and shit and like fucking butt hash and like whatever, right? I'm like wading through this, and then I don't find a rock, right? I don't find a rock. When I come to shore, I find a fucking 5-star hotel empty, right? The only necessary people there, right? Well, actually, no, there's people there. All friendly people. I go in, they give me the room for free. I shower, and I spend, at least for now, at least a fucking week there with like a beach on the other side, sunshine, and all this stuff. I was like, that liberating feeling was so needed, and I'm so happy I got it. Like, I am so happy, right? This is kind of like, it's kind of like Dragon Ball GT episode 35, right? Where GT for the most part sucks, right? But specifically episode 35, which is when Goku, like when he goes Super Saiyan 4, and something that I personally have always said is like one of the best episodes in Dragon Ball anything, period, right? I may feel the same way about this. I mean, I think I still got to do a little more like comparisons and stuff, but this, in my opinion, as of right now, I mean, we still got 2 episodes to go, right? But this is the best episode of Super for sure, for goddamn sure, definitely. I mean, there's still bullshit here and there, right? There's still, and well, there's still things that I found wrong in the episode. There are still bullshit things from past episodes that impact this episode, such as Ultra Instinct being a form for Goku when it's not one for Beerus and Whis for some reason, and the basis for Ultra Instinct being like not thinking. And if you guys have read Dragon Ball ANZ, you already know like why that doesn't fit well. But even with all that, right? Just to use what they had and come out with this episode, that was so sick. That like, they deserve, not like every male, like if you're male or female, you deserve to have your dick sucked or your pussy eaten out, right? Because that was honestly like so fun to watch. I was so happy. The rush that I wanted from a Dragon Ball product, I had to list better, that I wanted out of a Dragon Ball product since 2013, right? Battle of Gods, like I said, was a good movie, right? The Battle of Gods arc in Super, in my opinion, I felt was better, right? And both those things were not perfect, and this episode is not perfect, right? But those Battle of Gods, the movie and that arc in general, made me happy, right? And the movie especially, because like that was the first new Dragon Ball thing that I had seen in a while, and I felt like, unlike the majority of Super, that fit within the feel and the structure, the narrative structure of Dragon Ball, and like things for the most part made sense, and character interactions were natural, all that stuff, right? And so I was satisfied, and I really loved Beerus and Whis, right? But this right here, as far as the fight goes, as far as the rush inside me that I felt when watching it, this is what I have wanted since then. Like, this felt not only like fucking Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, this felt like, it felt like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. That's what it felt like. This really felt like that. And I was so fucking happy, man. I was so fucking happy. Like when I finished that. I still am fucking happy. And I don't know what score I'm gonna give this. Like, I don't know if I can give it an 8 or a 9 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. It's definitely no lower than a. I'd probably say it's definitely no lower than an 8 out of 10, right? And that's even considering all the grievances, even how terrible I think Super is and this arc has been in general, right? Well, actually, I don't know if terrible is the right word. More like meh, this arc is. And all the bullshit that this arc has given us, and even considering that, like, with this episode, I still gotta say, like, this episode was definitely the best of Super so far. And I'm just, like I'm happy, but I'm also, like, there's also, like, this small feeling, just like, god damn it, why couldn't you have given this us, like, after battle, like, right after Battle Gods? Like, why did you have to do Revival of F and the Zamasu arc and the, you know what I mean? It's just like, fuck, man. But at the same time, I'm still so happy we got it. Fuck. So yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic episode in my opinion. It was a fantastic episode. I'm not really gonna give it a score because I still have to, like, be fair and gauge it properly and all this stuff. And right now I can't do that. I may do that later. But what I do know right now is that I feel like this is an episode, like, when, like, 10 years down the line, hopefully, if I can, like, watch it, I'll be happy. Like, I'll be like, god damn, that is a great Dragon Ball episode, right? Just Dragon Ball anything episode. Man. That's so sick. That was so sick. That is so tight. Man. And I'm still getting used to the silver hair. I don't know if it, like, it works and it sort of doesn't work. I mean, it's better than blue, I feel. And blue, like, I've said before that I don't think it really looks good unless it's on the Revival of outfits, right? And with the light blue, I guess it can sort of somewhat work with, like, the regular outfits, but it's like when they go to, like, that turquoise green shade of blue, right? That teal shade of blue, that Super Saiyan Blue starts to look dumb and stuff, right? And I'm so, I don't know, like there's this one statue I saw of, like, shirtless Ultra Instinct Goku that looked fucking incredible, right? It was like this, it was a relatively small one, but it looked good, right? And I said before that, like, I think it looks better when Goku is shirtless rather than when he has his gi on. All the homo. Just kidding, no homo. But it's still, like, I'm still getting used to it, right? But man, oh man, I love that episode, man. I really like that episode. And especially because, like, it's like what I was saying about, like, going through the swamp and me coming to, like, a 5-star hotel and, like, renting that whole bitch out for, like, a whole week, right? Like, that's what it felt like, man. That's what it felt like, bro. It's because of Super's, like, lack of quality, like, that heightened my enjoyment of this episode. Not that it needed that for this episode to be good. Like, the episode was still fantastic regardless, but just me thinking about it is just like, yes, you know. But yeah, man. I mean, this is already going 30 minutes, but I think I want to go a little longer because I do want to talk about some other things, right? So, in the past, I said I felt like Goku is still going to lose regardless, right? Because to me, Toriyama is a very, like, his thing is irony, right? That's how he creates story, like, in anything. Golden Frieza, the Goku Black, even though those things, well, Goku Black is, like, terribly written, all this stuff, right? Irony is, like, a part of how he handles and writes character, right? Like, ironic, it's like contrast. Like, Kaioshin, he's the god of all. At least during the Buu arc, he's the god of all, but he's not good at his job. Or Zeno, he's the king of all, the god king of all, but he's a child and he's not good at his job for the most part, right? And he's very, like, dispassionate when he does his things, which in my opinion is actually the right way to do things. And that'll be another discussion that we can have in the comments about, like, dispassionate and justice and all this stuff. But that's how he works, right? And so to me, in a multiversal survival arc, it would be so in Toriyama's writing style to have Goku lose that, right? And especially now I look at Super, you know, Goku for the most part has never won. I mean, I guess except against Frieza, right? And so I I had been parroting for the most part that Goku was going to lose against Jiren, right? And he still might lose against Jiren, but now I'm not so sure. Now I think it can go the other two ways. I think Goku can beat Jiren and still win, or Goku and Jiren will ring each other out and there will be no winner, right? And Frieza will end up winning. And see, that's another whole thing about how irony plays in Toriyama's writing style. Frieza is going to be the one that helps the universe survive. You know, that in itself is very ironic and in Toriyama's writing style. So it can go that way also. But yeah, now I'm not so sure. Like, I don't know what's going to. I think it's going to be one of those three things for sure. I think Frieza is going to do something for sure. But I mean, that's why they're not like showing him, obviously. And unfortunately, Toei's not really doing a good job of like not showing him, but yeah, I think it can. I mean, I guess it's not really much of a revelation on my part. It's not really a big thing that I'm saying. Either Goku loses, he draws, or he wins against Jiren. And pretty much those are the only three things that can happen. But yeah, man, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to end and all this stuff. But yeah, man, I'm just really glad with the episode. And it's funny because I really hope, like, now that we're 129 episodes into Super, right? I hope it's like Trigun, right? Like, it's the Trigun anime. If you guys don't know my feeling on the Trigun anime, I think the Trigun anime, for the most part, was pretty terrible, right? I mean, there were some good things to it, like the animation, the style, the mood in some of the episodes, the voice acting, whatever, right? The Trigun anime, in terms of like its writing, like how interesting it is, to me, it's not that good, right? But the last 4 episodes are pretty damn fucking good, right? And I hope that's the case for Super now, because this episode and the episode before that were pretty good. Or actually, no. Wait, did I say that? Did I say, like, No. I can't even remember, like, what my feelings were on the last episode. Let me check. Hold up. What was the last episode? The last episode was Vegeta being eliminated, right? Yeah. So that's the thing. Okay, Vegeta's being eliminated. Yeah, okay. So that wasn't a good episode in my opinion, right? Isn't that what I said? Let's check my YouTube. See, Super has made me so numb that I just like forget like everything now. It's just like I'm not bothered enough to remember if I like that episode or not, you know? Let's see what I said. Oh, I gotta delete all these Yakuza 6 videos now since the demo's gone. I think I'm gonna get my friend's mic so I can like stream it when I get to it. Okay, yeah. So I said it was okay. Yeah, I said it was an okay episode. But this episode right here, okay. So it's not gonna be like Trigun where it's 4 episodes, but hopefully it's like Trigun where this episode and the next 2 episodes are gonna be fan-fucking-tastic like this one, right? It's gonna be fan-fucking-tastic like this one. And the other thing, but that's the thing. See, now it's going like on that One Piece schedule, though. You know, it's on that One Piece schedule where it's kind of like it's a chapter then a break, a chapter then a break. Well, it's not strictly like that. One Piece isn't strictly like that, but Oda has been taking breaks frequently as of late, right? Not even as of late, like in the last like 2-3 years or something like that. And now we have that, man. Now we have 1 break episodes between each episode. But if that produces more episodes like the one that we just watched, this episode 129, I'll stand it. Shit, I will devote time, right? I will watch it with enthusiasm if all the other episodes are like this. And that preview looks so fucking sick. It looks so dope. That animation looks out of this world. And if it's like this episode, I'd be down for that. But so now I wonder though. So we have 2 episodes left. So is the whole tournament going to be wrapped up in the next episode or the one after that? Because I can see like Goku and Jiren, like whatever happens, right? It ends up being this episode, like the outcome, and then the last episode will be like the cleanup episode where like everyone goes home, Frieza goes back to hell or whatever, and yeah, all that stuff, right? But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't fucking know. Do I have anything else to say? Because I've already kept you guys here for like 35 minutes, but... Okay, yeah. My favorite episode of Super, I am so happy I watched it. I'm just so happy. I'm so happy. I'm just really happy. It just really... I mean, yeah, I realize like the lore and everything behind it is still bullshit, but... I'm just still so happy, like, I watched that rush that it gave me. Like, you can't fucking replace that. You just can't. That's what art is about. Generating some sort of emotion, right? I'm not talking, like, making you feel, like, pity. I mean, that is a type of emotion, but it's generating happy stuff. And maybe just generating emotion, like, whoever watches it. And this is the kind of shit that I wanted since Dragon Ball. Since 2013, this is what the fuck I wanted. So yeah, I fully endorse this episode at least. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. And I will catch you guys later. Now to play some fucking fighters and beat this, well, not beat the story mode, to continue the story mode. And watch Gintama later. Oh yeah, I'll actually do a Gintama video sometime soon. Because I want to talk about like the new chapter dropped, and that was very interesting. I thought that was a fantastic chapter too. So I want to talk about that also. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Good night.